Thank you, Abhay. Let's go into some other important areas of difficult situation. And being a cornea person, this is one of my favorite talk, in fact, in difficult situation. A compromised endothelium does give a lot of difficult situation in cases like Fuchs endothelial dystrophy, which is may have a cataract. As we discussed, small pupil, shallow entry chamber, where you have more chances of cell loss, like in hard cataracts. Patient with corneal opacities would always have a poor endothelial count in these cases. Long-standing glaucoma, pseudoexfoliation, and people who have undergone VR surgery or refractive surgery. Therefore, it is very important to have very good pre-op assessment of these patients, mainly looking for a type of deformity in terms of a central or peripheral guttate, opacities, limiting your surgical field. Then most importantly, examining the other eye. Does the other eye has good pseudophakic or poor pseudophakic will also lead into appreciation of type of surgery you're going to do. Specular count is not routinely done for all cases of phaco, but yes, if you are a patient where you suspect poor endothelium, you should do a specular count in these cases. Look for a morphology of cells, which may give you a better guideline for counseling the patient and your surgical results. Into the pre-op parameter wise, we all discussed you'd like to have a good controlled intraocular pressure. You can do surgery under topical or a block. Make sure you have a good dilatation and use appropriate things like a BSS Plus solution, which has a lesser endothelial damage, may have than other solutions. Then looking for drugs which can be avoided, like all intracameral drugs should be avoided in those patients where you have a compromised endothelium. Then viscoelastic, I think, is one of the major things which is important to save the eye. Soft cell technique, first injecting dispersive one, then injecting cohesive to push the viscoelastic upwards. And this will remain throughout your surgery. You can complete your X-rays, you can complete your phaco, and in entire duration the endothelium will be protected. Like we have injected with dispersive first, then inject a cohesive viscoelastic underneath that will push the visco towards the endothelium, and this cohesive viscoelastic will maintain the space during your phaco. I think this goes a long way in terms of protection of endothelium, not only in a compromised endothelial condition, in difficult situations like very supra-hard cataract, small pupil, shallow chamber, in those cases. Let me take through the few important aspects of surgical pulse in a phaco in hard cataract. As I said, using a viscoat and soft cell technique does go a long way in these cases. And this patient had a slightly poor endothelium. And once you have a hard cataract, make sure you decrease the bulk of a central hard nucleus in these cases, so that you can effectively break the central plate of these cases. And once you have a break of central plate, you can always have easy tan. The idea here is to make a very large sculpting or a crater. After that, you can chop this nucleus from either side. If you don't have a completion of chop from one side, you can rotate the nucleus so that you can achieve a complete chop. Throughout the procedure, the AC should be well maintained. Don't let the surge come in these cases. A multi-hole, multi-chop technique can be used in hard cataract so that you have a good separation in these cases. Normally, in these cases, we would like to use a machine which can give you a very good surge control. That means the fluidics of machines should be good. If you have access to a Ozil system, the inclusion of IP will also make emulsification much better, much more controlled intraocular pressure throughout your surgery, less chances of rupture. Once you have a detachment of posterior plate, each piece can be taken out with the use of Ozil IP with a lot of ease. You can see each piece will be taken out right in the center. The idea here is to emulsify a piece in the center part of the eye or a cornea, so that you are far away from the posterior capsule as well as from the endothelium. Never let eye tilt to one side. Once you operate in a tilting eye, you are much nearer to endothelium. And if you know this aspect of surgery during your procedure, then you can have a very easy emulsification in difficult situation also. Make sure your handpiece remains more static, doesn't move to and fro. That also decreases pressure onto the wound area, also improves the endothelial count in these cases. The parameter has to be moderate. Your bottle height should be around 100, aspiration 25 or less, and vacuum around 300. I think these are important points to realize in a compromised endothelial cases. This is a patient with endothelial compromisation. They may have a little edema in the post-op period, and use of hyperosmotic agents may be required in these cases for a longer period. There are some patients where you have advanced cataract as well as endothelial decompensation. You might like to do a combined procedure if you access to technology. The guidelines would be cells which are less than 1,000 with a poor morphology of cases, corneal thickness around 600 or more. I might take these patients for a combined procedure of doing a phaco and DSEC. This is one case of central corneal edema because of a Fuchs dystrophy. A phaco is nicely been completed. Once we complete the phaco, inject the intraocular lens through the small incision which you made. With the viscoelastic in the entry chamber, we don't remove the viscoelastic, maintain the AC with the viscoelastic on, and we mark the corneal epithelial side with 8 millimeters. Now you've seen a peripheral mark of 8 millimeter. We use a reverse Sinskey hook. We score this disease endothelium so that you can remove the entire complex with the irrigation aspiration handpiece. You can see the entire thing is taken out. Once you have taken out the disease endothelium with Descemet complex, we can implant a lenticule which has a normal endothelium or a good endothelium with around 100 microns of stroma with that. This is a Busin's glide which has been used to hold the donor lenticule, and we pull this lenticule through the other side using ILM peeling forceps. Once it is pulled inside the eye, you can maintain this graft, push this graft towards the stromal bend with the injection of air bubble. The graft opens very nicely inside the chamber. Remove this forceps. You can inject air bubble. The air bubble has to be maintained with the pressure for around 5 minutes, and that suffices the attachment of graft in these cases. It is very important to have well-centered graft. Once you inject a bubble which gives a tamponade internally, you can move this graft with the external massage. This is important to have an internal tamponade, otherwise this graft will never move. Now this case would look like this in the post-op period. This is the pre-op. This is post-op after 1 month of surgery. These sutures can be removed. They normally don't induce a significant cylinder in these cases. So this is a sutural surgery. Combined procedure do have advantage being a single stage surgery, but sometimes the calculation of IOL power can be difficult in these cases. These are all results. I'll just skip that. You have a situations where I told you might have patient like this, small posterior capsular cataract with little bit of endothelial decompensation, a thickened endothelium with slight thickness around 600. This is the morphology of endothelium, and this is a slit line picture of same patient. You would like to go for a phaco as such. So we did phaco, but patient did have a significant edema, didn't resolve with the treatment for next 6 weeks to 8 weeks, and ultimately patient required a secondary DSEC. So you have a choice of doing primary surgery in compromised endothelium as phaco and see how patient does. If patient does poorly, you can always refer the patient for a secondary procedure of endothelial transplantation. Then you have a situation like this where you have a compromised endothelium with opacity also. And as Namrata showed in the earlier session, we can stain the capsule with viscoelastic under the viscoelastic cover. I normally do not use air bubble as a cover in these cases because that never prevents the dye to come towards the endothelial side. The rhexis can be done under the viscoelastic cover. And once you have a visibility like this, you can always complete the rhexis with the cystitome also. The idea here is complete the rhexis, especially area which is not visible. Your pull has to be much more bigger, and hope that the rhexis goes to a normal side, and that can be maintained by achieving a good static pressure in the antechamber, a reasonably flat anterior capsular surface. So once you complete the rhexis, the phaco is easier in these cases. And nicely been this is a case with the corneal opacity with little decompensation, and if you make a little opening in the pupil, this also improves the visibility for patient in the post-op period. So once you have one area little opacified, little bit of sphincteric cut or sphincterectomy will also improve vision in these cases. To summarize the cases with compromised endothelium, as I said, a very good comprehensive evaluation of patient, especially looking for a hardness of cataract, other associated problems, endothelial picture in these cases, appropriate surgical procedures with moderate parameters, good viscoelastic use, good irrigation solution, and avoiding complication in these cases will go a long way for these patients. Other important thing to highlight in such cases is how should we maintain post-operatively these patients. As I said, you require hyperosmotic agents which may go for a few months, and make sure a patient doesn't have a significant uveitis as compared to normal people. If you control these, most patients do well. If patient does have an endothelial decompensation, may require a second procedure.